A mighty fine afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. It may be... Technically, I think 6 PM is evening. So 5:35 here, so I think we're technically quite good. So yeah, they are. In other AGEOD games, it actually does tell you the time in game, which is always really quite cool. I like that with games actually, it tells you the time. So it reminds you how little time you have left to play. But yes, in Total Wars, no such thing, so I could say whatever time I would like. Okay, how you doing, Hugh? Good to have you, my man. Good to have you. Right, so finishing off from where... Well, I guess picking up from where we finished off, I should say. We are raising a grand army of infantry and cavalry. We'll be in Poland, 6:35. Are you from Poland, Hugh? Whereabouts? I'd like to go to Poland one day, actually. The first east I've been has been Moscow. That was obviously quite a few years ago now. Unless I'm a double agent. In which case, where's my wage? Alright, anyhow, I should joke about that. We do have the fighter battalions over here then. So we have the fighter squadrons, or battalions? I forget what you call them. Regiments, perhaps. Regiments, I believe. Either way, we'll have additional fighters next time. So we're not going to have our asses consistently kicked in the air. Only slightly kicked. We do have a great deal of artillery coming online. Including some Austrian artillery, in fact. I'd very much like... if I could take Belgrade today, but we are going to have to wait. Either for artillery, but I need a breach. Leipzig, Stuttgart, Budapest. Right, that's the heavy artillery on the way. I could have sworn I had... I guess next turn is when I'll have the Austrian medium artillery complete then. Okay. I did go ahead and... what did I order? Did I order the construction of anything else? Did I forget? No, I think that's about it. Okay. Ah, indeed. So, what we're going to go ahead and do, essentially, is... we do have the Dutch forces moving out through Holland, of course. And re-establishing control here. Obviously, there are no Entente forces within the Dutch realm at this point in time. But we're just re-establishing military control over here. And, yeah, we're going to be preparing. Essentially, what we're going to be doing then, in the winter months here, is attempting to witness the fall of the Russian Empire. The Russians are at 43% over here. We need to be in a position to launch an offensive against the French pretty quickly. I imagine that British will be on their way. Very likely. We do have a larger coastline to now defend, of course, having the Dutch. But we do obviously have the forces there. We do have the defences in the Netherlands. But we know that there is a vulnerability here in The Hague. So we know that. Or The Hague? I forget to call it now. Hey, to know, Fred Dine. Good to have you, my man. Hey, I just wanted to know, is AGEOD still making games? You know what, I'm honestly not too sure. I thought about checking, and I forgot to the other day, actually. So I do recommend checking that out, because I'd be quite curious to know as well. I can't remember the last title that I had, actually. There's a couple titles I haven't yet tried myself, but I'm looking forward to. Were you trying to get Belgium, or do you have prepared? Well, to be honest, depending on how diplomacy goes, I don't know. Sometimes it's starting to feel a little bit dirty with the diplomacy game now. As in fairness, it does possibly seem a little bit handicapped for the Entente, so we'll see. We'll either go through the Belgium as allies, or we'll go through the Belgium as enemies, through Belgium as enemies, or depending on the situation. And I think the more likely and more sensible situation and choice would be we have forces basically deployed over here, like Koblenz or something like that, somewhere near the front line, but not on the front line. Have them well rested, well supplied, well armed. Use our frontline forces, the armies over here of the Western Front, and to essentially secure a toehold. Then we'll occupy Luxembourg, and that will enable us to actually move through Luxembourg. And then what I'd want to go ahead and do then is have a wave, a second front basically of forces, to be able to then move on through and smash through. The ultimate aim would obviously be to get to Paris as quickly as absolutely possible. So having a fair amount of cavalry and just force in general will definitely make the difference. Also having artillery. Having as much artillery as possible. Of course, I could be building light artillery, and perhaps I will build light artillery. It just doesn't quite feel like it's that worthwhile to me. But then again, artillery is still artillery, and guns are guns. And when it comes into a battle of that nature, something apocalyptic, we're going to need it. But I think I would like to try and just raise additional super heavy guns, and try and use that sort of thing against them. Well, if we take a look over here then. See depot, depot, fortress over here. There are depots here. Also a munitions factory over here at rhymes. So that's quite good then. Yeah, so essentially we'd want to break through here. Seize depots and continue in that method. I'm hoping that would be able to bring the Central Powers against the French, and I think that could be done. Of course the British as well, but I've got to do this before the Italians join. Currently they're not moving very quickly now. That could be down to the handicap or the bugs there, who knows. But either way, we want to do it before the Italians join. It looks like we'll be good here on the Americans, but it's not to say it won't go a different way. Hey, Zanostri, good to have you, my man. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Alright. Now, we have infantry over here at 60%. I think next turn I may, perhaps, go for some infantry research, but it does depend. Winter will obviously a hefty deal there, really. But we'll see. So my screen's frozen here. Oh, there we are. Okay. I'm starting to wonder if I should buy the warranty for my laptop, so I keep getting little pauses here and there. It is somewhat concerning. Right, we're over here, man. Okay. I do need a depot over there. I've got 3 supply wagons. I'm going to need a few more there. No supply wagons over here with this army. Though I don't really want to have the Romanians under my command here. Not exactly ideal. Now, I can't see if we have a depot here. We do not, but we do have a harbour. I don't know if that makes a difference. I'm probably going to say no. Okay, we do have 2 supply wagons over here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is have that move out here. And what we're going to go ahead and do then is just essentially secure our position. I'm going to have the army of Eugene von Oesterreich move along the rail line here. What I'd very much like to do is secure our position by creating a depot. And I want to be in the position where I can move across the river here soon enough. Now the river's actually technically frozen, which is quite interesting, but I can imagine it's very difficult to get that much heavy artillery across the river. Let me go ahead and turn the music up a little bit more, actually. Oh, wrong one, sorry. There we are, a little bit louder. Okay. So we do have the armies of Conrad and Liborius. Love this name. I've not said his name for quite a while now. But he didn't have a large army for a fair while. But indeed, we do have the Russians in sight over here. But I'm not terribly keen on moving through the snow. Harsh weather does destroy cohesion. And I do need to rearm. These munitions could do with going to Vienna. I really could do with... actually, I think... yeah, it was Vienna, wasn't it? Yeah, I could do with more munitions in the Austrian Empire. I think that's something that would need to be addressed in the future. Because the Austrians do really lack munitions. That's a pretty big problem. I do have a number of supply convoys over here. Supply wagons, I should say. Right, that artillery is also going to be very useful over there. Alright. So essentially we're going to be waiting for the artillery to arrive over here and then launch the attack against Belgrade. Really, I could probably have forces head to the south, but I'm going to wait for forces to get into position. Have all our ducks in a row before we go off gallivanting over our victory there. It's not yet assured. I do see the British over here. Well, the Austrians, I should say, Anzacs. I want to go ahead and secure the rail line over here if I can do. If I can do that, that means I can have access to the rail. We are in a pretty good position over here. We'll see. Well, I'm going to kind of observe how the Russians react. Because soon enough I will be sending forces away from the Caucasus front. But I need to be sure of my victory here. Technically I could probably move the minesweepers in there, but I'll do that when the position has been completely neutralized. Yeah, I think we're looking okay here. As for the German forces over here, it's a tough one, really. I do, of course, want to hold on to Minsk, and I will hold on to Minsk. But what I'm going to go ahead and do then, as I mentioned at the end of the last stream, is I'm sending a corps over here with a rather hefty amount of supply. I may establish a depot here, and maybe go for like a midpoint between the depot over here. We'd have to see about that. But essentially what I want to go ahead and do is allow us to move upon Riga in the winter. Or at least attempt to try and move upon Riga in the winter. Anything I can do to try and bring the Russians down is well worthwhile. We do have forces being moved over here, so we are carrying a corps over here. I do have a second corps with some pioneers, or combat engineers, I forget which one exactly. We do have a spare general over here. This guy is an engineer, so he is very useful. He has a siege bonus there for when attacking or defending. We also then have a mountaineer and an Alpine Jäger tactician. Not that the Alpine Jäger is tremendously useful out here, because there's not really that terrain, but again, they're good troops anyway. They've been escorted by the High Seas Fleet. We do see that Plumber has cut the rail over here, but frankly that's pretty good for me. But what I want to go ahead and do is secure Helsinki. Now Helsinki is unfortunately not an objective, but it is a very major city over here. So we will be making as much use of that as we can. Right. I do have these aircraft over here. I'm going to move them in the future. I'm trying to resist using up too much in the way of rail. We'll see. I may have Hindenburg move to the west. But, let me see. Do we have opportunities I could make use of? I need to be able to move upon a objective. It could be a good idea to have perhaps Hindenburg move down here to the runner. And then at least we could begin pushing on this way as well. And I think that's probably an okay idea. I did consider having Hindenburg sent to the west, but I think it's probably for the best to just keep up the pressure on the Russians. While we have this great opportunity, I should do that. There's quite a few more men over here now, isn't there? I just need a few corps commanders. Which I'll get moved out there to the north. Grab supply here where I can. He's a pretty damn good commander, in fact. So that army is obviously going to be oversized here. But what I'm going to go ahead and do then is, let's see. I do have a corps commander with some supply here. And what I'll do then is grab him. Whoops, I'm pressing shift instead of control there. Yeah, so I'll grab him. The doctors will be quite handy there, the field hospital. Inactive, so 17 days. That's actually rather unbelievable. That's a tremendously long time. Alright. 17 days. That could be down to the artillery, frankly. No, still 17 days, okay. It's probably down to supply then. No, it's just going to take that long. That's a difficulty when you have unactivated corps, or just unactivated leaders, they just move slowly. Not that much I can do about that, really. God damn it. Alright, place one in there. I'm not that happy about this position, really. I'd really I'm trying to judge whether it's worth having this position here, but I think we need to have it so that I can march upon the objective here. What I'm going to be doing here then is essentially waiting for ammunition stockpiles to build up once again. I could do it like a core over here, just protect this position. I really don't like the leader being here, because he's quite annoying, but yeah. And we do have our railroad raiders. Our raiders of a lost... I couldn't really think of a way to string arc in there. If you can think of something like that, that'd be pretty cool. But we do have Pensk over here. They're going to be recovering. Yeah, they need to recover their cohesion. There is a garrison over here at Gamel. I may just march down the rail line and just try and render as much of the network as unusable as possible. That'd be ideal. Well, that said, no. Perhaps what I do then is instead... No, we're going to cancel upon that. I'm going to instead have Hindenburg moved over here then, and we'll go for Riga instead. The Austrians have the power down here. I just need to coordinate, really. The army would be 17 days. I'm not going to move for 17 days. None of this kind of weather. I really would like to have additional supply. Is this leader active? No. There's actually far too much supply here. So having that moved up over here to the north would be excellent. Let's not move you up there, Mr. Conrad. There we are. So what we'll do then is we'll put in an effective plan here to try and move through the winter to these positions, and then I'll move upon this objective soon enough as well. I will have Conrad's munitions sent out to be restocked at Vienna. Damn it, clicked off. The Austrians and Romanians will be moving towards the objectives in the south and in Ukraine. The Germans can concentrate on the Baltic. Yeah. Some strong calls out here, actually. I could very much do with additional supply wagons. I do love the look of the new artillery. And I can build more of it, so I would like to do that. Right, other land units. So I'm still held back by this limit. The good news is... Where are they? Right, munitions here. I am going to have some of that sent down to Conrad. I mean, frankly, the Austrians have been crying out for munitions for some time now. Right, I have supply munitions over here as well, so what I'm going to go ahead and do then is take this supply. We'll have this also sent over to this position. And as I said, we're going to go ahead and use a law supply and set up depots, but I'm going to push my way towards Riga in the winter. If I can try to just keep pushing on the rations, even during what would be, in theory, a safe period, I think it will bring the whole edifice down. Alright. I could do with some support elements over here, really. These marines would be very handy. Now then. I'm going to go ahead and leave 2 corps over here of support to the 2nd Army. The rest are going to be moved down here to Jaffa, and then obviously onwards into Egypt. The reason being I need to have men. Should the need prove great, I will send forces over here, but right now we're alright. I do have the men here to push them back. They could move over here to the wooded hills, but frankly, soon enough we will be able to move men down. And I would do it, but again, there's a lot of organisation here, but I'd rather just concentrate on Belgrade for the moment in time. And then we'll move on. Right. How you doing there, Arthur? Good to have you. Yes, they are paying off. Though, as mentioned in previous episodes, there could be a unfair advantage for us that's inadvertently popped up. So, honestly, yeah, it upsets me a little bit, because I'm like, it kind of makes like the work feel it wasn't earned. But we're going to play the game. I'm going to try and bring it to a pretty satisfactory close, and then we'll begin the second season and hopefully address the issues that have popped up here. But indeed, we do have the rations down at 29 now, the Entente at 80 there. I'm going to be looking towards bringing it to a close quickly, and that's going to involve really pushing on Paris as quickly as possible, really. That would be a glorious way to bring it down. The thing about the Mesopotamian front is it is a hellhole. And it's generally not very easy to reinforce. I could really do with more leaders, but you can see he's moving cavalry over here, which is not a bad idea at all. I don't want to move all of those. And in fact, actually, I'm going to leave them here. I will attempt to get reinforcements out here in the future. But right now, it's okay. Like, Baghdad's a pretty big deal. But it's just very difficult to get men out there, so, as said, should address that. I can try and get some cavalry down there. But again, the distances here are pretty vast. So I'm going to have them rest in Van for now. I do have Bulgarian supply moving south as well. I do intend to raise additional Ottoman troops in the very near future. Perhaps I can do so now. Not as yet. Oh, I do have access to cavalry, though. Alright, that'll do. That'll do, then. Okay. So they're not going to be particularly powerful, but what I'll go ahead and do, then, is raise a regular cavalry units in these areas, then. And at least with that, I can actually put some more men down on the ground. But I could do with more leaders, really. I just don't have the funds, but I do have a large amount of engagement points that I'm actually looking forward to using. So I think we're going to go forward here. Could do with reorganizing forces. Oh, I love the fact that they're actually changing in look as well. Range of 6 there. Right, there we go. Now we're actually seeing the new artillery come in here. Okay, yeah, that's actually a substantial improvement there. Yes, quite a substantial improvement. Lovely. So, we'll soon have more of this artillery to play with. Excellent. I really could do with Max being moved over here, but I don't want to play my cards yet, if that makes sense. Let's not move that General Corps. A couple of Jaegers there. Mesopotamia will be looked after. Now that I can raise cavalry, I can do something there. But as far as it goes, I'm going to put pressure on the British where it really matters in Egypt. Soon we'll be putting pressure on France. I keep saving here, but this is just a matter of reflex. But yeah, the Russians will be done soon. There will be forces available then for Salonika, for Mesopotamia, but I do want to achieve a victory by going through the Entente. And at the end of the day, if he decides to invest more forces in Mesopotamia, that's kind of okay with me. So we're going to move on forward here. Now, as soon as that artillery arrives at Belgrade, that's going to be fantastic. I think we should have it then in about, what, 2 turns? Something like that? He still does have a decent Serbian army there, it seems. But he's out... It's kind of high and dry right now. If I can make it difficult for him to regain supply level grain. Okay, so we do see Okadar's fleet there. He's moved his cavalry over here, which is not too surprising. We do see British and Portuguese forces there. Okay. Right, so his cavalry does come out on top. Indeed, wow. Apparently 14,000 men, but I've got to assume that that was men from the actual settlement there. No, we don't have Greece, but what happens is essentially the Entente can occupy Salonika along with Greek rebels and land forces there. So the Greeks are not in the war. They're kind of pissed off, really. Oh, so we do have Baton that surrendered here today, then. That's not too surprising, really. So we do see a fleet over here as well. Interesting. Oh, did he pull out the Entente forces at Salonika? Right, we are seeing more forces arriving in Egypt now, or at least in Egypt. He's sending supplies to Valamazal. Okay. Pretty quiet day here, then. It looks like the Russians are Azerbaijan, which makes sense. Additional forces arriving over here. Hard to say how strong these guys are. Oh, wow, okay. Did he move back onto Belgrade? I have got to imagine that he is doing this as a final stand, really. Which I've got to respect. Fucking hell, that's a lot of dead men there. Yeah, I think this is the final stand of the Serbians. Yeah, I can understand that with Plumber. I think he, I mean, he did say the situation was essentially over. So I think he's recognised that, yes, indeed, the situation is somewhat hopeless. There's 647,000 men here for the Central Power, so obviously we still have more coming. We had the advantage of the trenches here too, so these poor men are really giving their all for their country. He has managed to amass a decent amount here, but yeah, 113,000 men there today. That's a big loss. I love Plumber giving us a showy exit. Yeah. It looks like we managed to capture some artillery there. So I think that is going to be the Serbians. As soon as we have Belgrade, we'll finish up the Serbians, move on to Salonika, and then we're good to go. Right, the British... Looks like some additional forces may have arrived in Basra, or he's moved back to Basra, I can't quite tell. But Mesopotamia is an incredibly supply-hungry area. Now, it's been a very quiet turn, and this is the way she goes with the winter turns. They're very quick. The campaign terms are the ones that take the longest. But a very quick... Yeah, oh, there we go, lovely. Nice, we're up to 102 morale now. Yeah, so we gained another 4 this turn. War weariness reduces us by 1. Did he... Ah, okay, I see. So these men are actually... Alright, okay. Well, actually, it looks like this court is out of supply. I didn't realise that these men were actually inside here. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but in fact, really what I want to do is I just want to keep on defending here. I have supply, they do not. I do have reinforcements over here as well. I could maybe launch an attack over here. He's got no supply. I'm going to allow them to starve a little bit. I still hold on to the position. So that's good for me. He has a cavalry over here which did move in and take that. Okay. We're raising our cavalry here, which should be ready in about 29 days. Okay. Let me see here. The Egyptian situation. So yeah, he's using Portuguese forces over here, so militia, regular and supply. Okay. There does appear to be, obviously, French forces here then. So he has moved these forces, and I believe he's wanted to try and prevent us from getting into this position here. But frankly, we're just going to remain in position here. Hopefully it doesn't come across, because frankly, I need to have this rail line. And then I can have... Well, I can use the rail line, which means I can then move Turkish forces up over here, construct a depot closer to the front, and be good to go. And I'm happy about that. We do have Turkish forces over here at Aqaba. We obviously do have the Dutch Africa Corps that will be moving into Egypt as soon as possible, really. And really, it would be great to get some reconnaissance over here and try and spot what's going on in Egypt. That'd be very handy. Alright. So seeing the munitions factory over here, 118 days. It looks like he's recruiting potentially more men. we should indeed have more assets ourselves this turn. So what we'll do then is we'll cut to the short and take a look. So the Russians are down to 24 morale here. What were they at last turn? 29? Were they at 29? I think they were at 29 last turn, so he's lost a lot of morale this turn. That's pretty rough. The Russians are 29% of our power. The Entente then at 62. The fact that we're up to 102 in national morale is pretty good. Alright. I'm trying to get these guys over here. I want that supply wagon. Just artillery there, it seems. I'll tell them to assault to make sure that they do. I do also have this Austrian corps over here, which would be really handy to get out elsewhere. Alright, let's see. I tell you what, sometimes when it comes to the game system and how you move things, it can actually be quite a problem. Alright, so I do have my artillery over here. It's showing a different icon, but this is in fact heavy artillery. No. It's a little hard to see what's going on down here. But God bless Plumber. I mean, he really did give it his all there. You cannot say that the Serbians didn't go down fighting. We lost a lot of casualties in Serbia. That really... Oh, okay, so the enemy forces are still here then, okay. Have them return over to that position. Let's take a look at this technology. Alright, 80% there. How are the Russians doing? They're at 45% rebel alignment, okay. So let's see then. They may drop out of the war due to national morale at this rate. Oh, here we are. So outrage of the Atlantic blockade has bolstered morale in Germany. So it's finally happened. It's a 1% swing, I believe, with the blockade, but it's nice to have. Yeah, because we took Batum due to its surrender, we gained national morale there too. Lovely. Let me take a look. So, yes, we've already begun to inflict hits on the defenders of Belgrade. Excuse me. Apparently I achieved a breach over here at Salonika with just cavalry, so that's pretty good. Okay, so I can see there's another corps over here. It looks like we are seeing more French. He may be moving more men into Salonika, which is actually pretty good because I can engage and defeat them. Alright. Did I capture aircraft at Belgrade? There's quite a few forces over here now. Yeah, this synchronized movement is a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. Right. Nearly done. Oh, it may have been my own aircraft, actually. Yeah, I have some aircraft here. Okay. That makes sense. So let me see here. I have... Yeah, so I'll place that heavy artillery over here in the army. There's quite a few men here, I must say. We do have additional forces moving. We do have a super heavy artillery over here, actually. They're actually going to be here and then, I think next turn they'll be there. Cool, yeah. So 4 days they'll be there. That's very good for us. For God's sakes, I accidentally took these men off the rail line. That is the problem with this game sometimes, is that you can quite easily do it because, I don't know, at least for me there seems to be some sort of, like, delay, or it's just very easy to misclick or to, like, do the wrong thing like that. But oh well. But indeed, we have our forces over here then. Yeah, we gained 3 national morale from the victory there at Belgrade. Yeah. I've got to love the fact that he did commit to that. And he knew he was going to lose that. He did know that. I mean, maybe there might have been an opportunity had I just simply not had as many men as I did. But I mean, we have something like, what, 600,000 men there? Obviously, there's more men in the area too. Luckily enough, it doesn't seem... Yeah, the weather over here is actually pretty good, so this is clear weather over here, in theory. And let me take a look at that. Yes. We have mud over here. Clear terrain, but it's also mud. Okay, so that's better for defense. Oh, good for defense, I should say. Right, you remain in position. There we are. Okay. So I do have a second Austrian army over here. And, I may have that moved down to the south, to be honest. It is mostly militia, and I really don't like militia, honestly. Alright. So we have our fighters... Oh, hang on a second. It means they arrived over here. I see. Okay. I can't see where the forces are over there. Let's go ahead and have these guys move here to Tbilisi. And then they can go ahead and enter back into the city, replenish, and resupply. But we do have Batum now. Oh, did I capture his minesweepers? Well, that's handy. I can just go ahead and put them straight to use then, can't I? Now, don't ask me how they work. I don't know. So at least this is a great opportunity to test out minesweepers by using his minesweepers, so... I can imagine that they probably would have ordered them to be blown up. And we have another core over here, actually. Hang on a second, I didn't mean to move this core. God damn it, I must have... I do think that sometimes the mouse does stick. It does seem that way. So I definitely didn't order him here. Nonetheless. Alright. So I'm building up central powers control over here so I can have the rail line. I do desperately need the supply wagons at the front, but they are on the way. They're coming. I don't see the Japanese out here. Let's see then. Yep, so we have artillery over here. I really do need to spread this artillery out. So what I'll do is have a couple regiments sent to a number of locations. Having it in the south would be a good idea. Just reinforce the general. Right, so I'll try and aim for something like 4 regiments to be sent to a province, and then they can go down. Well, go up there, really. It does feel good to have this artillery moving. And what I'll do is balance out the amount of artillery and just, yeah, we'll manage it. I did move a decent amount of artillery over here. Yeah, as you can see. That's a lot of artillery. I forgot to place that inside the unit. But yeah, there's 570 guns there. Obviously including the 36 of the infantry. And the munitions there, okay. So indeed it's going to take some time. Yeah, it's indeed going to take some time here. But what I can go ahead and do then is just try and ensure that we have as much artillery on the front as possible. But this is great. This means that, for example, this army does have a full allocation of artillery. Obviously it doesn't have heavy artillery, but it's got artillery. Means in positions like this where it's a bit mixed. I mean, really I'd be better off just taking... it looks like I'm missing 5 there. I'd rather have that heavy artillery shifted down the line. I want to have my heavy artillery concentrated. Right, there we are. Have this artillery unit move down here. And then I believe I need, perhaps, is it 5 regiments or 4 regiments? So 2 there. Alright, 2 regiments. I'm actually over capacity here a little. Oh, because of the militia, I see, of course. Cool. So 4, and then I can get another 4 in there. So I could actually, in theory, get 8 regiments of of medium artillery in there. So I'll have that moved up over here. Right. You've got some munitions there, okay. I'll then take this artillery up over here to this army. This is actually a really good force to do it with. Mostly because they are corps, but they're all infantry and militia, rather than properly supported. So yeah, we'll move that artillery there. Move an additional artillery down here as well. So what we'll do then is try and balance things out then. And to ensure that everybody has access to munitions. We're still raising additional divisions. Obviously we're raising the cavalry as well. Yeah. If I could raise more artillery, that'd be great. So besiege in Helsinki, nothing this turn. Did our men arrive? Yes. Yes, they did. Brilliant, okay. Ah, that's good. Okay, that's really good. Because I was very much worried that things would freeze over. Now, do I want to have the fleet move out here? I think I'll have them moved, I don't know, it depends really. I think at the end of the day, he can't really spare all that much for Helsinki. I'm going to have these forces moved over here to Wilhelmshaven, or Wilhelmshaven, however you want to pronounce that. The idea being that I do also have to defend the Dutch now. I would very much like this supply. We'll move that elsewhere shortly enough. Alright. But it is good to have the Netherlands under our full control now. So we're to 877 state funds, we make 316 a turn then, it seems. At least we keep 316 for supply. 222 conscripts a turn. Very good. Right, I do have troops over here. Also the aircraft, which I need to move. Right, a fast mover like you is very handy. Alright, let's see. Oh, 16 days now. How interesting. Right, they've got a good amount of supply over here now. So, right, okay. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, I can't move forward there, but okay. Right, 7 days is a lot better there. Still not rebuilding munitions. I really do need shells. Why is this even here? I swear to God, like, things got very confused there. Yeah, why is this here? That's very weird. Anyway, munitions will be there in 15 days. How are we doing on this front? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. I mean, this is it. As long as I can keep pushing on objectives, we're looking good there. It's at 45, so it went up 2%, which is not a great deal, but we may break their morale before they break before revolution, to be honest. Right, I've got my supply wagons here. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is I'm going to establish a supply depot here. It would take me 20 days to get across the river. Alright. Take this core here. Okay, still constructing the core there. Sorry, the depot there. What I'm going to go ahead and do is move across. Luckily, I do have the army here. That would actually engage. Interesting. Yeah, he's trying to move across over here. And this rail line's broken, so he's probably going to go this way. Wow. Broken the rail line here. Yeah, and he can't even rail in here, which is good. So they've been resupplied, which is good. Excellent. I've got to assume that these objectives are garrisoned. I've got to assume that. If I could cut this rail line, he wouldn't really have a way out of here. "34 days. 42 days. Why is it... Right, the rivers are not frozen right now. It's going to take us a long time to cross the river, it seems. So next turn I'd be here. Now that's not exactly ideal, but it is significantly better than taking 19 to cross. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is try and move across this way and try and get to the rails there. So I've got 28% control over here at Pinsk, which means I could use that rail line. So I'll go ahead and restore that rail line. It's not showing the real strength here of the cavalry. They have recovered somewhat. Not totally, but still. So I'll have them stay within the settlement here. Oh, sorry about that, sneeze. Yeah, so repair the rail line over here. It's going to be interesting, really, to see what happens next. So I do have my forces across over here. I can mix that core in there. Though they're down to 265 men, so I cannot imagine they're doing too great right now. So let's have them move back. And then move in there. Right, so this core obviously took casualties. It's a bit of a random one, actually. I don't know what... I should have actually taken the... I didn't actually take a look at what its components were. Be fine. Yeah, just moving across there did cause a lot of cohesion loss. It's no joke. So I have here 49%. Need to continue forward. Do you have additional supply here now? Alright. So what I'm going to do is move up behind them, keep supply there, and just keep moving on the rail line. It's going to take a lot of supply to be able to get this done, but we're going to do this. And if we can do it and pull it off, it means that we have the end of the rations. Right. Now, they did take a lot of casualties. I think this field army is kind of shot now. Yeah, they burnt a lot of men there. And they were moving into such a unwinnable situation for them, sadly. But Plumber's a good dude. He also gives a good fight. So let me see here. I do need a depot down there. That's the problem. Yeah, I've also got to respect the fact of the weather here. It is clear once we get to Greece, at least for now. It's need a depot. So I'd have to establish a depot here, but this is where we'll push. We'll just push here and Salonika. But having a depot would be very good. There is a depot nearby, but again, it's not quite the same. It does help, of course, but just not quite as good as being on top of a depot. Right. Okay. And to be fair, the German Jaegers would do very well down here. So we'll get that. That's not a bad idea, they're nostalgic. What I'll say is I will go for them, but I'll do that after we have Belgrade. Oh, excellent. Oh, nice, okay. Let me go ahead and get that moving down here, then. That's going to actually really escalate things for us. Lovely. I can go ahead and move the army down there, then. I say army. It's not that much of an army. Hey, didn't have bad. Good to have you, my man. Alright. So, yeah, that's looking good then. So, what we're going to do then is establish a depot over here. Or even further to the south, honestly. And then I can push through. Frankly, there is a decent amount of Western Entente troops over here. Maybe 100,000, something of that nature. But they just don't have the mass. Do not have that mass. So it is going to come crashing down on them. But of course, besieging over here, but we do have a decent amount of heavy artillery already. And these are the heavy artillery brigade, so these are 2 heavy artillery regiments. Yeah, there's another brigade that's arrived. There's 2 regiments over there. So, again, this is it. Like, we have a lot of heavy artillery already here. There's more heavy artillery on the way. The super heavy guns are going to arrive in about 4 days. With the German guards. Yeah, we have the guards divisions, the 1st and 2nd Guard Division, and then the 1st and 2nd Guard Reserve Division with heavy artillery and super heavy artillery. Also some captured British artillery. Yeah, exactly, Hugh. Oh yes, going back over to this. So, it's a bit of an eclectic force over here, for sure. Oh, promoted may not be good. There's so many people that just require promotions. I'm not quite in a position to manage it. Oh, they are recovered. Interesting. They do have some supply there. It is working then. Okay. They don't carry all that much in the way of supplies, so it's not terrible, actually. But that's really a lifeline. That's really a lifeline. Honestly, von Leto taking Finland really did change everything here. "47 days, my god, that's a long time." That's due to them being inactive. 36 over here now. Alright. Yeah, Libo, CNC. Right, so we have... How many men do we have here then? We have... 29 there. Okay. Ah, yes. Oh my god. There we are. Honestly, I'm not sure that about it. I need to get in contact with YouTube. The Dutch Africa Corps has still not yet been launched. Wow, why is this brigade so very powerful here? I love the fact that we have the Russian. I mean, this is actually an artillery brigade here too, which is quite good. So it's not a be-all, end-all. Oh yes, I can put you in here. Alright. Oh, for God's sakes, don't tell me they're in here. No, okay. Where'd they go then? Why do I feel like I'm missing a core? Oh, there he is. God sakes, the bloody system is a pain in my ass sometimes. 47 days to Finland. I tell you what, actually, it would be a significantly better idea just to march to Finland then. Oh, you're an active commander. 48 days, though. Okay, we can manage that. Yeah, we'll go with that then. So, 48 days, so that is about 3 turns there. But at least once they do arrive in Finland, I can actually just rail down from Finland into, well, onto Helsinki itself, which is actually pretty good there. We are bringing additional supply, which is very nice. Lovely. Yeah, the siege continues. But it's going well now. We're rebuilding cohesion. But one does have to be bold. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is have Von Leto move on here. And really what I want to go ahead and do then is it's not good enough to just have the rail blown. What I need to do is actually establish control of the rail line. So establish control of this area so he can't just rail in here. And if I could move forward as well, that'd be great too. Yeah. Yeah, Cologne is taking Petrograd, that'd be great. So what is the blockade up to? It's still level 1 right now. Bender. Yeah, so we'll have a depot here then, and then we'll march on Odessa in the following turn if I can do. And once we do get on top of Odessa, of course they do have the harbour, but that's a lot of heavy guns there. And if I could get to the... if I could have control of the rail line, I could just move the super heavy guns from Belgrade over there to Odessa. You can navally invade Biborg for good measure. Yeah, exactly. Once we clear the mines, then we're good to go there. I don't know if I can get the mine ships out there, though. That's the only problem. I could take the risk and move through the mines, but obviously it depends on the amount of damage I want to take, really. Yeah, I mean, Viborg... I don't know. He's also going to have hefty defenses around here, but... he's probably going to... He's likely going to collapse either to National Morale loss or to Revolution by the time we get around to this position. But this is just a way to seal the deal, really. I do wonder where his men have gone, though. We can see Russians over here. We can see that he's building. But I'm not seeing really where the Russians are. This is like one of the first times I've not seen the Russians. And this is uncharacteristic, actually. There's not many Russians. Possibly. Possibly. Need to get across that river. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, when it comes to the mines, it's a little hard to say. It's the same reason why the Dutch coast, I mean, this area isn't covered. I'm not sure. Maybe because this shares a border with Belgium, but then again, this is all Russian Empire territory, so I don't know. I can't answer on that one, really. Maybe there weren't mines there historically? Not sure. Alright. Yeah, so we're in a pretty good position then. So by the time the super heavy artillery arrives, we'll be good. The good news as well is the fact that our heavy artillery should be the new model. Oh, actually, they haven't been yet upgraded, but they will upgrade soon enough. Like over here, we see a new model artillery unit. Yeah, so soon enough we'll have that increased penetration range as well as just in general power, which is going to make a big old difference. Did my fighters finish? 4 days. 4 days, okay. So I'll have the fighters next turn then. I could probably do with producing more fighters, really. Wow. Damn it. God damn, okay. Well, there goes my goal of being able to max out the German heavy artillery pool. It's 24 more there. Damn, okay. Oh, I did release the guns of Lemberg, by the way. Some more artillery there for the Ottomans. Teases me with that super heavy. Ultimately, I'm going to have to do this. To be honest, what's better for us? Do I want to have... I mean, this is obviously superior heavy artillery now, so it is better than the artillery we had beforehand. You can see the penetrations over here at 6. Interestingly, some guns have more discipline, but I think that may be because they're actually out in the field. We can also see that, yeah, range damage, firepower is increased. But how's that compared to railguns? Apparently railguns don't have as much in the way of firepower. They do actually have some protection, but they have more penetration. Their range damage is not as... well, actually is better. And they do have that range, but they don't have the raw firepower. But I'm going to assume that's probably due to the amount of guns, perhaps. We can see it about that. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look then, shall we? Still looking for options. I'm still waiting for these, but I've got to assume that it'll probably come in at 1916 then, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, the British were able to evacuate. So we just have the Dutch over here now. And frankly, he could land again. But we know that we can manage things like that. The Russians are on their way out. So that's good. And if we take a look at this then, so the Russians are at 24 national morale here today. Defeat level is 5. So I have an automatic win condition, really, is if he gets to 75 alignment, which is like 30% from now, I can play the, what was it? Oh, which one is it now? But that's assuming that the revolution just doesn't destroy him anyway. Right, there's Kononov over here. So alignment in Russia, minus 20%, and Eastern Entente national morale, minus 25. So it's like if he gets to... so if he gets to 75 national alignment, rebel alignment there, then we can just destroy him like that. That would be nice. I may play the Deutschland there. Central Powers alignment in US plus 5%. Central Powers alignment in Germany 10%. Central Powers national morale 5 is pretty good. I believe the Russians have to reach 0 national morale. Okay. We can make that happen. If we take a look then, I mean, he is, well, he's more than subject to mutinies. I mean, he needs to be below 40, he's at 24 now. Was it 24? Did I say 24? Yeah, so the threshold for mutinies was at 40. He's at 24, so he's going to be checking against mutinies now. Hmm. Yes. The Greeks are at 64. Alright, let's see. Well, I mean, the thing is, if he declares on Belgium, it's not exactly ideal. They're at 52, so it's not like they'll be joining anytime soon, really. Italy there at 35. I've got to assume it's failing at Italy, in which case it would be really unfair. Right. The Russians actually doing pretty good in tech. Yeah, he may be close to tanks. It could be worthwhile investing in tanks. But honestly, I think I'd probably want to move before tanks become a problem. The West is role-playing the wrong war. Yeah, I do feel Phalanx though, because it must have been terribly frustrating. Full sympathy there. Right, okay, so what we could potentially do here then is, I think I may save war supply. I could potentially produce tanks then when we have them available, and that may be like a pretty good thing to do there, just to really ensure that we do win there, perhaps. And this is it. Had Alex at the time, in my opinion, declared on Belgium, obviously it would have been, I don't know, who knows how it would have gone. I don't think we would have been able to hold on to Belgium. I do think the French, and this is something that he could have done. He could have potentially positioned his forces beforehand. And there really wouldn't have been anything I could have done about that. We could have put up a fight in Belgium. Maybe we could have tried to support the Belgians, but we just didn't have the forces. And then perhaps what he could have done is, once we were engaged in Belgium, he could have then declared on the Netherlands, or he could have then maybe tried a naval invasion of northern Germany. Who knows? I just think at this point in time, naval evasions just genuinely are horrifically difficult. I mean, look at how Gallipoli went. I think the Holland invasion could have gone well. I think it could have been really, really bad for us. But I think the problem was he needed to link up with the French. Had he been able to link up with the French, I think it would have forced us. We would have been forced to withdraw men from the east. I don't think we'd have had a way out of that. Yeah. That'll be one of the unknowns there. But again, Alex and now Dominic do seem to suffer from a handicap in regards to diplomacy, so it's a shame. As soon as I get that breach, I'll attack that. I mean, technically I could probably attack now, but I don't want to take a huge amount of casualties when I don't need to. There is a lot of heavy artillery there, but I've got to say, but once we have the super heavy artillery there, it's going to be over. It's nice to be above 100 in morale again, though. It's been a long time. And we're still at zero inflation. The currency is supreme. Don't even want to consider it. Alright, let's see, concessions here. Austria is such a pain in the ass of that rebel alignment. Oh, by the way, we are going to suffer -10 national morale and rebel alignment in Austria. Maybe next turn, or very soon anyway. Because we'll have the death of the Kaiser. Well, we'll have the death of Ferdinand, is it? Honestly, I'm not too sure. I did have a question regarding why is Austrian rebel alignment so high? And I'm not sure. It does feel like it's increasing at a much higher rate than Germany. Hard to say. Oh, yes. Franz Joseph, that's it. That's what I meant there, actually, sorry. Yeah, the fiscal conservative alternative reality. Right, okay. So we are going to have forces moving over here then. So next turn... Yeah, so the next campaign here is going to be moved against Salonika. Once we do secure Salonika, which is actually now an objective, that's going to be very handy. It's not going to affect the Eastern Entente, but it will help against the Western Entente. It also does mean that we can secure Greece there. Yeah, well, I mean, this is it. And it is very, very ugly. Yeah, it is very ugly. And it honestly did cost me a lot of resources. It's something to have to be remembered there. It's like, in future games, giving away the Italian territory is really expensive. Yeah, Trieste is actually quite a wealthy city. The shipyard as well. Also the fact that you do lower alignment across Austria, which reduces Austria's output as well, which is not exactly ideal. Right, so I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I'm going to save up resources. The Mediterranean blockade is, in fact, yes, in effect. That could also be why I didn't really even notice that. It's a good point. I should have been having my ships out in the shipping boxes. That's my silly mistake there. We could build naval units for any power, really. It's just they take so long, it's not particularly worth it. Like, destroys for 300 days, but anything... Like, a Dreadnought Squadron over here is 1,020 days. Battlecruiser is 1,020 days. I mean, maybe there is a play where the Germans at the beginning, or at least the Central Powers at the beginning of the game, perhaps you could save... Perhaps you could save up war supply and do something like that and expand the German fleet. But again, it comes down to the point of, well... They're not going to be ready for a long time, and it's a tremendous investment, and they're mostly going to be sitting in port. So indeed. Yeah, great time for a new Dreadnought program. Super Dreadnoughts will win the war. Do I want to invest in tanks? I feel like I probably do want to get a head start, actually. I think Trieste is probably the only shipyard for the Austrians as well. Yeah, probably. Right, so I could spend 200 state funds, 250 state funds, and 5 engagement points. Perhaps we boost infantry and tanks today. Ah, wow, very much unlike me. I do really want to be ready for an offensive in the west as soon as possible. I do have to remember as well that you take a look at our ammunition stockpile here. It's really been diminished in the last few turns. And this is with the resource... I mean, this is it. I probably do want to invest more in munitions. We are fortunate in the fact that I have captured something from the Russians, so apparently that does seem to help. Am I received that? It does look as if we are doing that. This army does seem to be recovering munitions, which is good. At least once this army has recovered munitions, at least that will help the others recover munitions. Hmm. Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I think what we'll do is figure out what to do in the second season, but I think if I was to play the Central Powers again, then we'd not. But if we do play the Central Powers again, which is not guaranteed, by the way, then I think we would go officially from plan. So I think that'd probably be a more entertaining campaign. We've had an alternate history campaign. Not that they wouldn't all be alternate history, you know what I mean, but I think it'd be good to have something where we have like a pretty close historical scenario, and we're trying to work with that as best we can. I feel then, if we achieve something, it actually is even more meaningful. But I have really enjoyed this campaign. We've got through it pretty quickly, actually. I'm talking about it as if it's over, and it's not. Excuse me. Nomadic was like, you know, you still have to beat me, right? I'm like, yes, I know. And he says, that sounds a little arrogant. I'm like, well, we tend to like rib each other. We tend to like tease each other. I'm like, oh, you know what, actually, that does make me sound like arrogant. That's actually pretty bad. So I did apologise to him about that and did say I was just ribbing him. But it does make sense. We can't talk about it as if it's a finished game already, because it's not fair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Italian concession, it is at a vast cost. And these are pretty good fortresses too. Level 2 fort there. Yeah, level 2 forts. I do wonder how level 2 is actually taken into consideration. Oh yes, the Swiss forts. The Switzerland plan would be amazing. Hmm. Yeah, as you say there, John. We did get pinned down here at Kono for quite a long time. Quite a long time there. Like as you say, if you marched upon Riga, you could obviously take this, and then it's like you're not defending all this, you're just defending along this rail line. But in reality, you're really just defending here at Riga. Hmm. Oh, you're doing it with the Swiss option. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Italy's not... I suppose they're still technically... I mean, they're still a young nation, aren't they, at this point, so... I don't know. It does also... It does always make me want to play, like, Europa Universalis or Victoria 2 or something like that. I was thinking about maybe doing, like, some kind of Victoria 2 multiplayer campaign. That could be rather interesting. Maybe, like, trying to figure out some roleplay. That could be quite good. I know a lot of other content creators do things like that, so I could maybe see how they do it, but that could be quite interesting. Or as much as I'm not a massive fan of Hearthstone 4, it does have some pretty cool mods, so we'd figure that out. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with the Germans here, because this is it. It's like, I don't want to just lift off the gas, but I'm kind of wasting my time out here. There's not really an objective within reach for the Germans. I also don't want to take away the forces yet, because I can't use them on the Western Front yet. Yeah, we'll just have to wait for now. We'll start making our way down here, and then I'll push on the objective. Now, honestly, if I could come over here and actually cut this rail line, that would be really nice. 19 days, okay. So we'll get in there, recover cohesion, then move on forward. But if I could take this position here, that'd be great. I doubt it's going to happen, but I'll put pressure on him in that way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Vic Free, I don't know. I don't have Vic Free. I don't know. I completely forgot about Victoria Free. I didn't even have it in mind there, so who knows about that one. Alright, we have our supplied stocks over here. I'm very happy about that. The good news is when we capture these Russian cities, we are gaining from them, I believe. Or potentially gaining from them. Or at least he's losing from them, so that's good. Right, I don't think there's honestly that much to do here. It would just be little housekeeping things. Oh yeah, I played the shit out of Victoria too. What am I at? It's not the most gameplay. It's not the most played game I have. How do you do the thing? Let's see. Where's the thing? Oh, okay. This is when I used to have time. I don't think it's recorded all the hours, but okay. So Victoria 2 is like one of the games I played a lot. I used to play a lot of EU4, as you guys know. I don't know, I don't even really play that much anymore. I don't honestly play all that much. It's not for lack of options, it's more also for lack of time. Or for just enjoyment. I'm going to be playing Under Rail though. Where's that? Where's that beast? Last played. Be doing that one soon. Yeah, oh there you go. Under Rail will be the one I'll be getting a groove on with soon. Let's follow Weiss. Fucking Foundations 4 is one I want to try as well. Anyway, this is not the... wow, they changed that, I didn't know. This is not the stream where I show what games I'm going to be playing in the future. Alright, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's a pretty short turn. There's not honestly all that much to do. We're going to move forward with infantry and tank research, and I'm going to save war supply. Yeah, I really want to get into Under Rail. This is pretty good. I really do like the Fallout 2 vibes. Yeah, I can imagine. But yes, I want to go ahead and push forward here for early tanks. If I can get a drop on the Entente by getting tanks first, I can start building them up first, which is a big deal. We do have a massive bombardment over here, which is pretty good. We're some time away from the creeping barrage. Yeah. Honestly, once we get tanks, I think that'd be quite good. I'm going to try and produce tanks. I could produce more heavy artillery. But I think tanks would probably make a pretty big difference. What's up there, Carl? How you doing, my man? Yeah, I know, right? It's been a long time, hasn't it? Been a long time. How you doing, my dude? Ah, yes. Nice, man. Glad to see. Yeah, there's a lot of good mods for EU4, though, I've got to say. I don't know. There's probably going to be the EU5 at some point soon. I did genuinely enjoy EU4, but I don't know. It kind of went in different directions. But then this is it, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. Mods do a lot for that game, though. Like most Paradox games. I do have Stellaris, but yeah, and it'd be nice to have a War in Pacific. Eventually I may return to that. It just is such a tremendous time sink. You really do need an entire team. As Joken has been finding as well, as many other players have been finding. It really has been a tremendous renaissance for War in Pacific in the last few years. But again, you do need to have the time and the commitment. Well, as you say, they're nostalgic. That is a legitimate problem. It may be, in fact, worthwhile to start producing new munitions factories. 2 engagement funds, engagement points, 200 state funds. 100 war supply. It probably would be a good idea to start building munitions factories then, perhaps. I wonder how many the French have. No, but it even counts the British. Oh, I just saw one there at least. I'd very much seek to avoid. Okay, so I've seen 2 there. We see a 3rd under construction there. Could be, of course, more. Yeah, exactly. Or if War Pacific had an undo option, so everything wasn't just so horrific, if you made a mistake. Right, okay, I'll just start producing bod munitions factory then. That's a good point there. I'll have it produced at the front. Though, in fact, I do produce I should, in theory, produce a lot of artillery over here. A lot of munitions, in theory. At least it's stockpiled out here. We do have artillery factory out here. Munitions factory there, okay. But having it closer to the front would be quite nice. Like maybe over here at Strasbourg? Yeah, one in Pacific too would be quite nice, but who knows. Or even maybe at TEAW, but TEAW is a little risque. Coblenz is probably not a bad place. But I think I would like to. I think I will go for it over here, TEAW. I know it sounds kind of crazy. But I don't know. Does it really matter? I think I will have it at TEAW. It produces 5 ammunition per turn. I guess this is the amount of ammunition that we have in total around the area. But if I can have it in a position where it's on the front, I can actually have munitions move back and forth. It should be okay. We'll be attacking. In fact, it sends a message. Alright then, we'll go with that then. So I'd like to say a big thank you here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a great evening. Or perhaps a day. But thank you for watching the series. I'll very likely go ahead and do some housekeeping. Go ahead and pull off some housekeeping just in the background here. Organize things a little bit more. But frankly, with winter, we are kind of waiting on things now. I will be eventually moving towards this objective when things improve. I'd like to obviously have supply. But I think I'd like to move up this way. Put pressure on here and then move. Also, we do have designs over here for Odessa. So I'd like to be in a position where I can move upon the objectives pretty strongly. But if I can sit on top of Odessa, that'd be good. That's a good objective to be on top of there. I hope it would be a viable one, in fact. I'm going to try and move up the central rail lines here, try and take control, and try and eventually move to like Gamel or something if I can. We are moving towards objectives over here to Riga. I mean, what was the alternative in this direction? Yeah, I could move over here to Vitebsk. How are you going to pronounce that? It's not that easy. There's not a lot of objectives in this area. But this one's very far away from the other Russian objectives. It's very far from the other Russian front down here. So I'd like to try and spread out as many if I can. The Mesopotamian situation is going to be fun. Perhaps I should raise more cavalry. $40 and 20 conscripts. Alright. Actually, it wouldn't hurt to raise more Ottoman troops of this nature. Yeah, I can only raise so many there anyhow. But we'll go with that then. So thanks for watching there, ladies and gents. Do like the video. And I'll see you again in the next turn there. Thank you and goodbye.